Well, hello everybody, it is wonderful to be back. Here we are again. It is a Friday, so what we are going to do is the usual. We're going to be looking at how Hcmc has been trading throughout the week, as you guys will know by now. But obviously on top of that, we are actually going to be looking at what an analyst has said about this company's share price going forwards in the future, because we do have some potential good things coming from this particular analyst, which we will go over in just a few moments. But all of that is coming up in this video and much more. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you have not already. Remember, this is not financial advice, it's just my personal opinion, but if you may enjoy it, you can subscribe of course. You can follow us on our website called markets-daily.com. I will write up a bit more information on this on a article. You can see we have an article from a few days ago on Hcmc. So again, I will update this website quite often with information about all different sorts of stocks. And if you do want to find out when I do post those articles, you can follow me on Twitter at N2SFinance. Link should be down in the description, or you can just type it into Twitter. But do remember, this is not financial advice, it is just my personal opinion and should be taken as nothing more than that. But because it's Friday, as I mentioned, we are first going to look at how Hcmc has been moving throughout the past week, because we do actually have quite a mixed week when we look at Hcmc's share price. On the one hand, it looks kind of bad because we can see that we have hit highs in the week of 0.0010, but right now we are touching the 0.0009 range. And when we look at the whole week in general, I personally do not believe it is not that bad, because for reasons which I explained in a previous video, I think Hcmc does have the potential to go a little bit lower. The main reason for me is because we saw a little bit of dilution in the share price when they had that direct offering. I think that is something which people kind of forget. So yeah, there was a bit of dilution with that direct offering. I'm sure people do know that. I will go over that in a bit more detail once more in a fundamental update, hopefully this weekend. But yeah, there was a bit of dilution in that, and I think people forget that, and I think that is also an attributing factor to why we are seeing the share price fall a little bit lower. So seeing it as 0.009, 0.0009 rather, and being quite stable, I am not too worried by that. Even if it hits the 7 range or even the 8 range, I am not too concerned at hitting that low. I think right now we are at a very comfortable level, and we have actually hit 0.0010 recently, so if we can remain between the 9 and the 10 range, or even the 8 and the 10 range, I would be very comfortable with where we are. So I know a lot of people are saying now that Hcmc has dipped to the triple zeros, they are kind of apprehensive to buy more, or they don't want to hold the stock anymore. I do understand that, but I think it isn't as big of a deal as some people are trying to make it out to be. As people will know by now, every single opportunity to spread FUD is usually capitalized upon by the bears of this stock, or any stock at this point. So yeah, there are some negatives to the company obviously, but when the stock price goes down, the bears often do use this as an opportunity to spread complete lies. I think we should remember that that is not necessarily the case. So yes, the share price is down in the past 5 days or so, but it does not really matter. Yes, we have seen highs up here at the 0.0010 level, but right now we are finishing the week between the 9 and 8 range, so not too concerned. Now, one thing that we are seeing is we are seeing the stock actually stay level between the 0.008 level and above. You can see down here we found a little bit of a support back there in the past. We are finding a support there today, and I hope that we can continue to find the support at this level in the future. If we do, as I mentioned, I would not be too concerned. I don't think it matters too much, as I think Hcmc is more of a long-term hold, but that is what we're seeing in the share price this week regardless. So we're going to move over to the more technical side now. As you will know, this side we are looking at the RSI on the 1 day, which is set at 43. This doesn't really matter to me, as we see barcoding with Hcmc all day, but it does not really go anywhere, so it is going to be quite neutral on there. And again, the 1 day doesn't really tell us quite a lot of information. Now when we move out a bit further to the 5 day and beyond, we can see the moving average of this stock being sat at 0.008, as you would expect with that fluctuation in share price, so that isn't too concerning. We can see when we move out to the 1 month, things become a bit more clear. We're seeing a RSI figure of 38, so that is pretty low, to be honest. Bear in mind guys, 50 is neutral and 20 is oversold, so yes, we are not oversold yet. We do have a lot of room to go, but we are definitely coming towards there in my personal opinion. Hopefully we can remain at this 0.008 to the 0.010 level. If we can, I'd be happy with this stock, but again, if we don't, then I think that we do have the risk of dipping into oversold in the short term. Anyway, we're seeing a moving average in this period of 0.013, and moving out to 3 month, we can see the RSI figure at 34, Again, we are seeing that same figure for the moving average as you would expect, and we are seeing that MACD trend being quite neutral, but it is actually quite bearish as well, even though it is pretty flat right now because we aren't really seeing too much movement in the share price. Now here are the volume figures that we are seeing in the past week. You can tell we had a big volume day back here. This was a few days ago where we saw volume of 1.88 billion. The day after that we saw volume figures of 910 million, and then today we are seeing volume figures of 597.28 million. So not too bad figures that we are seeing right there. We're still seeing high volume for Hcmc stock. I think that is worth noting. I think it is something which is definitely mentionable. I think it is something which is important going forward. Thus, in my opinion, when Hcmc's volume is high, it shows that people are continuing to trade Hcmc stock, whether it be institutions buying or people buying who are retail or even people selling. It shows that people are still showing an interest in this stock. I think that is worth noting. So Hcmc clearly is not a dead stock. Again, people are going to argue that the price of Hcmc is being manipulated. That is a topic for a completely different video. Again, if you believe that, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. But yes, that is something for a different video. Now we're going to move on to the main topic of this episode, and this is looking at this article from alphabetastock.com. This speaks about Healthier Choices Management Corp and gives a Hcmc stock forecast. Obviously is the OTC markets, Hcmc as you will know. So we can see this was published on July the 23rd, so literally this was published today. So it's very, very new, and we can see this was published in the Stocks to Watch by Irving Wilkinson, I believe that is, rather. But yeah, this basically speaks about Hcmc. Hcmc is one of the most searched microcap stocks, as we well know. It has taken a massive hit in share value, but remains a favourite play amongst penny stock investors. And we can see why, to be honest. I've spoken about this before. I will talk about this more in our fundamental analysis, which we will do at some point soon. Hcmc is not really like any of these other penny stocks. Some of these other companies, in my opinion, are not the best plays. And again, Hcmc, it does have some factors which people may say are not the best. I do understand that as well. But this is a real company with real revenue, and some of the other penny stocks are not necessarily as strong as this company, in my personal opinion. This person says that they have been investing in 25 years and only have invested in one penny stock, and stocks like Hcmc are very high risk. I'm sure you guys will know that. I'm just going to remind you of that myself. Hcmc is a high risk, high reward investment. Yes, it carries high risk, but then if it does succeed, we could definitely get high reward. But obviously the flip side of that is if it does not succeed, we have high risk, as I mentioned. Anyway, this person then goes on to speak about the fact that Hcmc stock could jump to 0.0015 in the next 2 years, and that is a long shot apparently. And I sort of understand where this person is coming from by saying it is a long shot, but personally I think there is some potential for that. I think it is actually highly likely. I understand where they're coming from in the sense that yes, this is potentially taking in the fundamentals of the business only, and from a fundamental standpoint, this company, whilst it is decent, if you just look at figures like the revenue, not counting in the lawsuit or things like that, such as new partnerships which are coming in the future, yes, this could seem like a reasonable target. But Hcmc is a company which is developing. They had a new patent the other day, they had partnerships last month, and obviously revenue is getting stronger. They actually have a loyal amount of supporters who buy the stock as well, and that all does count in my opinion. So I think 0.015 in the next 2 years is definitely possible, and again, if they do win that lawsuit, we could see much higher than that, in my personal opinion. They're then going to talk about the chart for Hcmc and how that has been trending, but what I really want to move on to down here is what we have seen down here. So basically, Hcmc speaks about the fact that they have risen to 65, as in 0.0165 in early 2021, and has seen a steady decline ever since. It's trading 58% down from its 52-week peak, and we can see back on May the 21st, the trading volume suddenly went up to 1 billion shares, sharply up from the daily average trading volume of 267 million shares. The spike in volume is being attributed to a rights issuing announcement by Hcmc. In addition, Hcmc investors appear to be excited by the price moving from the 000 to the 00 range. And yes, we are back down to that 000 range, but I do understand where this person is coming from there as well. Then it goes on to speak about the potential of HMC hitting $1, and I know a lot of people speak about HMC hitting $1, and again they believe that this is not possible in 1 year, and they believe that in 2026 the price of HMC could be valued at 50 cents. I think that is very, very reasonable. I understand that, and I think that is a fair estimate. Now, for a few things which I want to decipher from this, and it's all my personal opinion, but the first of which is the time frame. I know that's a very high target for HMC's stock price, considering where we are right now. I know some people are going to say 2026 is a very long way away. Well, here's the thing, guys. HMC is a penny stock. It is more of a risky investment, and it is a company which needs to build its revenue and build its company in general. And I know some people do not want to wait all that time. That's completely fine. There are some other stocks for you. But I think by now, most people who invest in HMC understand that this is more of a long-term investment. I think a lot of people are comfortable with this amount of time. So I don't think it is too significant, the length of time that it's going to take. I think it is reasonable, but I think obviously right now, a lot of us are expecting HMC to be more of a long-term play, so this doesn't really matter. So HMC hitting the 50 cent range would be reasonable. I think it is really interesting that this article does go on to decipher that. Now, don't get me wrong, guys, that definitely is possible in the next 5 or so years, but I think it is also important to note that a lot of things are happening with the company which definitely could make it higher in the future. There is a lawsuit going on, and a few other factors such as new patents, and obviously a strong community of investors who are behind this company, helping to build it up, helping to increase revenue, and all that kind of stuff. So whilst interest does remain on HMC, I think we do have a lot of potential. I think this company has a lot of potential in general, and I think going forwards we could definitely see that 50 cent price target in the next 5 years. That's just my personal thoughts and opinions, guys. Tell me yours down below. I think it is interesting though that this article is definitely touching on HMC and the potential of it hitting that high. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching. See you soon.